Hello, it's Mike coming at you with another Planet Coaster episode. Thank you for joining me, welcome to the video, and thank you for joining me in what hopefully will revolutionise Planet Coaster Console Edition for you guys. Now, as console players, the biggest gripe that we have is the dreaded Oswald percentage counter. This can be the bane of every console players' lives, and after doing a little bit of research and playing around today, I have discovered something which may actually change the way that us console players approach the way that we play this game. So what I have done is I have opened a completely empty map which starts at 2%. Then what I've done is I've taken a 4-meter path, taken it from the entrance point as far as I could build it, and look at that percentage. 8%. That is almost a tenth of our build limit taken up instantly, just with one path going straight the way through the park. That is absolutely ridiculous just how much percent that takes up. But let me just very quickly show you something. So once again, we have a 4-meter path going from the entrance tunnel right to the very end of the map. But if you have a look at the percentage down there, it's gone from 8% to 3%. We've just shaved off 5% off the counter with exactly the same path. Now, how have I done this? And it's very, very simple. All I did was I built the path on a grid instead of building it freehand. Now, the way that you build on a grid is if you hold triangle when you're in pathing, select the piece of path that you want, it will bring up this grid icon, and you just build just like this. And you can sometimes halve, if not more than half, your percentage counter by building on a grid. So let's have a look if we just use some differing types of path as well. So here we've done exactly the same thing again, only this time, instead of using the 4-meter path, we have used the 10-meter path. And if you look down below, the percentage counter is only 5%. Now, this doesn't make sense, but this is just the way that Planco works. The wider the path, the less percentage it takes up. Don't ask me why. Doesn't make sense, but that's just the way it is. This also does apply to queue lines as well, so ensure that you don't use 2-meter queue paths. So the same as when we did the 4-meter path on a grid, we have done the same with a 10-meter path. And as you can see, once again, it only takes up 3%. Now, unlike the 4-meter path, which was around that area there when we hit the 3% marker, this 10-meter path, we only just hit the 3% as we got to the very end. So if we just delete a couple of pieces of path here, and as you can see, we've now dropped to 2%. Bearing in mind, when we opened the map, it was only 2% as we opened the map. So in theory, this path has not added at all, which is crazy. Now let's have a look at some of this put into actual practice, shall we? Using the paint tool, I've just drawn out a very basic generic park. Now, I know I'm not winning any awards for my art style, but just go with it. What we're going to do is we're going to use this and we're going to go around with a 4-meter path, gridded, ungridded, and then the same with a 10, and let's compare, shall we? 16%. That is almost a fifth of our allowance with just paths. We have no shops, no guests, no trees, no bushes, no rides, and yet almost a fifth of our counter has been taken up already just using a 4-meter ungridded path. Let's just compare that with a 10-meter ungridded path, shall we? So the same as the 4-meter path, going around this park layout with a 10-meter path, this time we're down to 7%. We've just saved ourselves 9% just by using wider paths. So let's have a look what happens if we grid them. Now, I may not be winning any awards for this. It looks terrible, but remember you can always cover it with roof tiles, so you don't always even need to see the path. But look at this, a 4-meter path, the same park layout, 6%. That is crazy. Imagine how much more you can build with 10%. So lastly, let's just have a look at doing the same again, but with a 10-metre path. And there we go. We're down to 4%. The same park layout, once again, using a 10-metre path on a grid. We've just saved ourselves 12%, which is absolutely crazy. Now, before we close out the video, I'm actually enjoying myself here, so I want to test one more thing. Let's just have a quick test, shall we? Now, this would be an adequate size for a park, in my opinion. And look at the percentage down the bottom once again, 6%. Now, if you want to put this into relation of how big this area is, can you see the janitor yet? Can you see him? Can you see him? There he is, look. That is just relative to how big an area this is. Now, if we just pop a couple of rides down as well, and let's just see what it looks like with a ride. Maybe that's not the best ride, because that is actually quite a small ride anyway to place down. So let's just put one more flat ride down, shall we? A little bit of a bigger one. And let's put a coaster down just to see as well what it actually does. So after adding 2 coasters and 2 flat rides and all this path here, we're only at 11%. That is crazy. So hopefully these tips are going to help everybody to expand their parks and really utilise that percentage counter. But thank you ever so much, everybody. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Take care, stay safe, look after yourselves, and I shall see everybody soon for more Planet Coaster content. Goodbye, everybody.